This Hotline Thursday episode is brought to you by our Super Mamás Social coming to Los Angeles on Saturday, July 9th, 2016. A gathering of super mamas for a family picnic festival full of activities.
For the kids, we will have an arts and crafts area, a bilingual reading corner, gardening workshops, and a water play area. And for us mummies, we will have a pump and breastfeeding station, Micheladas, skinny girl wines, food vendors, a styling session curated by our friends of YMI Jeans, and a live taping of the show featuring some of our favorite moms from the past episodes.
Don't forget to get your tickets today by visiting supermamassocial.com. Again, supermamassocial.com.
Hacia arriba. Disfruta las cosas buenas que tiene la vida.
Dun, dun, da, 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 da. That's a very deep song.
Very deep.
I heard that song so many times growing up and I never understood the deepness behind it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a song that people would just dance to. It's really deep, that song.
I love that song. It's very positive.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
We totally missed our regular 1 hour Tuesday show because my sister and I were just... There's so much going on in our lives, and it was Memorial Day, so we took the day off, but we said we have to at least do the small 15-minute show because we're addicted to podcasting. My sister just can't wait to get on that mic and sing and laugh.
I can't.
She was having podcast withdrawals. She was having super mama withdrawals.
There's just so much to talk about.
No,
right now.
especially this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That kid fell in the zoo, and everyone's going after the parents.
I have so much. I have so much to say about that. Like, I can't believe all the backlash that poor mother has. Like,
can you believe how horrible? Okay, no, can you believe how she feels of the scared?
Yeah,
like that her kid fell inside the zoo.
Yeah,
number one, like even that traumatic experience, and then someone creates a petition to like whatever
prosecute her.
Yeah, like.
And then people are harassing her. She had to close down all her social media.
Really?
They tracked down the kid's school, and people are like sending death threats and all.
What?
Like, I'm like, who has the time to do this? First of all, don't you have something better to do?
I don't know.
And I love how people are so quick to judge parents, like things like the zoo is not a playground. The zoo is not a babysitter. Like, I don't think the zoo is a babysitter. I don't think the zoo is a playground. Like.
You've taken Krista to the zoo.
I took Krista to the zoo once, and I have very, I don't know, weird opinions about the zoo. Like, I was very excited to go, and then I saw the amount of stress the animals are under in the zoo, and I was not happy about it. And I felt sad, and I felt like, oh my God, but then again, like, I respect everybody that goes to the zoo, like, and I'm probably at some point I'm gonna go again and show Sabina, because it has its pros and its cons. Like, you show animals that they will never get to see otherwise, but then also, like, I have seen the gorillas there in the Santa Barbara Zoo, and I could see the sadness in their faces. Like, they're sad. You know what I mean? They're just like sad. And
right. It's like if the gorillas went to like prison and be like, this is a human. And the prison people, they're just like,
yeah, I mean, there's zoos everywhere, and
Okay, but this isn't about whether
this is not about the zoo.
This is not about like the zoo. And I think that's where like the whole thing comes in, because people are like, well, the zoo is a horrible place, and why would you take your child there? And whatever. You know what? At some point, like, I'm gonna turn on TV and let the kid watch TV. At some point, I'm gonna take him to the zoo, because sometimes there's just nothing to do on the weekends, and we're like, forget it. Let's just go to the zoo. I don't care what would happen to these animals. I just want to do something with my children. And that's just the truth.
That is the truth.
That's why, yes, people boycott the circus too. But like the same thing, like sometimes you're just like, you run out of options of what to do. And yes, there's a lot of parents are going to be like, but you can be home doing crafts. Teach them how to cook. Teach them how to garden. There's so many things you can do. Like, you do not live in my house, number one. Number two, you're probably not a parent.
Yes.
Right? And like, if you don't have there's just so many issues around it.
So many issues.
You know, like social economical issues. Like the zoo is not it's a fairly inexpensive place to go to.
Yes.
Do you know, like if you go to Disney, how much money are you forking out to go to Disney?
Oh wow, let's not start with that.
Okay, let's just say by the way, was that girl, like, was the mom having
so the
a
mom
toddler,
had a baby, carrying
right?
a baby and taking care of a 4-year-old.
Yes.
I do the same thing.
It's hard.
It's freaking hard.
It's
really hard. It's really hard to take care by yourself of just, you know, the 2 kids. It didn't say that the dad was there, but like, you know, if I'm like, okay, what do I do with the girls? Let me take them here by myself. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with my kids. And, you know, it just happens in a second. Things like this can happen in a second. Somebody was like, it does not happen in a second. Oh, yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
It happened. Fernando got lost in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando got lost in Oaxaca. I mean, Fernando got lost like 3 times. You know, Fernando's her brother. He got lost as a baby like 3 times. And, you know, it happens in a second. Like you turn around and it's happened to us. It happened to me when I'm turning around.
Unless you have your child on a leash. And if you have a child on a leash, then you get judged.
Why do you have your child on the leash?
How dare you have a child on your leash? Like, oh my God, what are you doing to this child? Like, you know what? So they won't run out. That's why I have a child on the leash. So they just don't run, and I get judged if they get run. I get judged if they run.
Yes.
I get judged if they're on a leash. Like, what is
going
on with all this judgment?
It's crazy. Remember I told you about this I heard on the radio about this girl that was criticizing this mom on the plane with a child. You told me. And she was like, she went partying for like a whole day, and she was like, I can't believe this child was so loud and he was kicking. And I was like, first of all, you are partying 24 hours a day, and there's nothing's going to make you happy right now. Second of all, the child has a right to coexist with everybody else.
Thank you.
You know,
there's people that bring in, okay, here's another thing that like just, you know, like begoggles my mind. If that would have been a dog,
oh yeah,
she would have been like, oh, cute. Oh, like that is a dog. And like, listen, I love dogs. I have a dog. I was that person. But like, how do you complain about a child who's a human being, by the way? Yes. Let's just keep it real, guys. Children are human beings. And sometimes look at them like they're another species. They're also humans. They're just small and their brains haven't fully developed. Like, let's be patient with them.
Yeah, and it's crazy the amount, all the comments that I've seen around this whole gorilla thing. Like, things like, oh, I wish your child would have died so you would have learned your lesson. I was like, F you.
What?
You obviously do not have children. Oh. You know what I mean? Like, I was so mad.
Karma, people. Karma.
For real.
You cannot just say that. You cannot just put out those things in the world.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how people are so quickly to judge you as a parent. Like, you're such a bad parent. And, you know, before we had kids, we were like, kind of like that too. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that mom doesn't have, you know.
Well, I will say, before I had, okay, well, obviously, well, not obviously. You guys all know, or hopefully you guys know, that my sister and I run a restaurant in LA.
Yeah.
We sit 300 people. It's a huge restaurant, family restaurant. We get a lot of kids here.
A lot.
And a lot of kids are running around the restaurant. Now, talked to Bricia 5 years ago. I was like, oh my goodness, those moms need to get their kids in order. Like, what's going on? Like, I understand where those feelings come from.
Yes.
But like, now I'm running around and I'm like, it's okay, let the kid run. Like, if I see a kid run, like, it's so weird how that switch like totally like clicks. Mm-hmm. It goes from on to off. Like, now there's kids running around. I'm like, oh, how cute.
Look at them. Look
They're
at their
running.
Hair.
Yeah. Or like, oh. And the mom, like, the other day, like, oh, another thing that moms apologize for constantly. Like, let's stop apologizing. And like, yeah, I went to Kids Space in Pasadena. You know how much I love that place. And there is a bathroom, and it's only one like big stall where you can change your kid. I'm sure there's more, but that's the one I found. And there was a line, you know, and all the moms are with their kids waiting for one mom to finish and getting out, you know, right? And then one mom was taking a while, and for whatever reason, she came out. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Girl, don't apologize."
We constantly
like,
have to. You're right.
Like, just be like, hey, I'm like, I feel you. I know you're in there and you're struggling in there. Like, you do not have to apologize to me. I am also carrying a kid. I am also carrying a toddler, and I know how hard it is to go in there and try to change a diaper in an unknown place without having them to pee on your shirt and getting shit all over your hand. Like, I understand the struggle. Like, you do not need to apologize to me.
It's hard. Now when I see a mom or something, I'm like, do you need help? I always try to do that because I'm like,
or at least just smile.
Yeah, or at least like, I get you. Like, I get you.
Mean? Like, at least just like show empathy rather than like, give that like,
We have to stop apologizing for having babies.
Right. And if you are that mom and, all power to you, that has it all together, whose, child is perfect, doesn't throw tantrums, like maybe you do some sort of special parenting
Voodoo.
that your child is just super well behaved. You just got lucky, okay? There's nothing you're doing that's making that child that way. You just got lucky as AF. You are just lucky AF. So just be empathetic to the moms that didn't get as lucky as you did,
which is like struggling. The 99.9%
right,
of
who are
all
just
of
struggling.
Us.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think somebody told us this. Like, I forgot who told us this. Like, it's just personalities.
Yes.
We are all different people. My sister is one way. I am a certain way. Your children, when they're born, I believe they're born with personalities. So
they are, definitely.
You might get a very calm child, and you might have that one calm child for the first 3 years of your life, and then you're like Judge Judy over there, and then like the second might come, who is a terror. You're gonna be like, I shouldn't have judged that mom. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So just don't judge. And for all of our non-mommy listeners, because we do get a lot of non-mommy listeners, like, help a sister out when we're in the grocery store.
For real.
At least don't roll your eyes at me.
That's why I love going to Trader Joe's, because every time I'm there and they see me with the kids, they're like, do you need help to your car? Like, they always put somebody to help me. I go to Whole
Foods, and at Whole Foods you do the same thing too.
Yeah, well, like,
actually, I kind of like
that.
going to the grocery store with a baby now, because I get like 2 people coming in like, would you like some help to your car? I'm like, I actually would.
Yeah, there's places that like empathize with us because they know that it's a struggle, and there's just people that are like,
wait, and then I also heard this non-mom person saying, oh my god, this like entitled mom who thinks she has to like be like whatever because she has a kid with her. I'm like, I looked around and I was like, do you not know I'm a mom?
Did you tell her something?
I was like, do you know I'm a mom? She's like, well, how about you're different? I'm like, no. What do you mean?
And
entitled?
Plus, yes, like step up and speak up in behalf of the moms, please.
Yes,
please say something, because
get her back.
Because like that time that I heard it on the radio, nobody said anything on behalf of the mom. Everybody was bashing the mom and like, oh my god, how could that kid be? I'm like, it's a plane. The kid is like in a closed space. He wants to be out. Of course he's gonna react. I have to create so many activities for my children to be sitting down, and I'm always, I don't have to apologize for everything my kids do. You were a kid too once.
And I love what you said about coexisting with other humans.
I didn't come up with that, but yes, Betsy.
Well, thank you, Betsy. But shout out to her girlfriend, Betsy. Is that did she come up with it? Okay, well, good for her, because it's the truth. I feel like we look at them like there's just like, I mean, obviously they're a responsibility because we had them.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I hate that other word. People say like, pues querías niño, ¿no? Oh my God. Next time I hear that word, I'm going to slap somebody. This is like the venting episode. Okay, I won't slap you, mom. But like, I hate that.
Yeah.
Pues si quería hijo. Like, and? Do you know what I mean? Like it's a human being. Yes. I'm creating life. I'm like bringing someone into a society. Like, do you know what I went through to have a child? Do you know how many people wish they can have children and can't have them? Like, are you serious right now?
Right.
And to tell me like, pues querías hijos? Like, what? I hate that one too.
I know it seems like once we become a mom, we become like of a different species. We and our kids, we're different. You know, we're classified differently. Oh, but she has a kid. Oh, but you're bringing with your kid? Like, yes, I'm bringing my kid, or yes, I have a kid. And it's always like, oh, but she has kids. You know, like if it's a bad thing.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's not like they were like, oh,
but she has a kid.
She has a kid.
Or like, oh, let's invite her. Oh, no, but she has a kid. So? What does that make me?
No, because then she brings her kids. That sucks.
Fuck.
We got it bad enough already that we actually...
We got it hard enough being woman.
Yeah.
Now woman with kids. Come on.
I know, right?
Come on, dude. Seriously, like, let's support one another. Let's just love each other. Let's help each other out and stop the freaking badgering. Poor woman. I cannot even imagine what she's going through.
She must be crying in her, and she has a baby to take care of. Can you imagine if the baby's not sleeping at night? The kid and her little toddler like being like shaky because the gorilla.
Did you see the video?
No, I did not see the video.
So the gorilla drags the child by the feet like all over that little
Okay, can you imagine what the kid's going through right now? Both of her kids aren't sleeping through the night, and then she has to deal with people bashing her, being outside her house, like saying like she should be like pay for the gorilla's life. Like, listen, you guys. I love gorillas. I love animals.
But if your child was in that situation,
but if my child was in that situation, I'm sorry, I'm gonna kill a gorilla.
Yes.
Like, it's just
with my bare hands.
Yeah. No, I will. I'm sorry, I will kill myself.
Yes.
For my child.
Yes.
Like,
of course.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry for those of you who don't have kids who understand what that love is like. Until you are a parent and your child is in that situation, you're not gonna be like, wait, no, don't shoot the gorilla. Just please don't. It's okay if my child gets hurt.
Yeah.
Just don't shoot the gorilla.
Of course.
And don't blame me for my children falling over. And what about the zoo? Maybe their walls aren't high enough, or
they could have used a tranquilizer. Whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, also, like, you don't have a kid, but you were once a kid and you have a mom and your mom loved you the same way.
Yes.
Hopefully. Or maybe she didn't.
Or maybe they didn't. Let's try people signing that petition because they have mom problems or mom issues.
Yeah, but like most of us had moms that loved us at some point. We were kids at some point. We all did things like this at some point. So stop acting like you're like that. You're from like better than anybody else, and you never did anything, or your mom was the perfect mom, or you're a perfect mom, because nobody is a freaking perfect mom.
No,
we are all shitty moms.
And it's just
so crazy.
Well, my husband told me about that story because I don't really read that much news. So my husband was like, "Oh, babe, like that happened." I'm like, ooh, I'm like, oh, poor mom, that sucks. That's and I was like, dang, is the baby okay? Like, did the baby live? And because I was like, if the baby didn't live, like, I don't want to know about it. Like, don't tell me.
Yeah.
I just don't like listening to sad news when it comes to children.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, no, the baby's okay. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, and then like fast forward 2 days later, like this story has blown up. Like I read it on. I subscribe to this newsletter that I highly recommend. I love it. It's called The Skim. And made it to The Skim, and I was like, wait, how big is this gorilla story?
Huge.
My husband told me about.
Huge.
I was like,
it's
how
everywhere.
Yes, I was
LA Times, New York Times, Washington Post, every outlet. Everything. And most of it, I mean, most of the parenting sites are supporting the mom, but most of the other sites are like, parents should be more careful. I'm like, I don't get it. One time Krista disappeared in front of our eyes in like a second. I have disappeared from mom and dad in like a second.
Hold on. And then parents get it to their heads, and that's why leashes come, right?
Yes.
Because you're like, well, I don't want to be judged if my kid runs away.
Again, it all comes back to like this new parenting or parental society that we're creating of overprotecting our children. But I don't think it's because we're trying to overprotect the children. We're protecting ourselves against everybody else.
Yes, like this
we
poor
cannot.
Mom.
I just feel like I was talking to my husband about this yesterday, and I was like, it's just like it's so different. It's so different. Like I'm worried about every single thing that my kid does now because I'm afraid of the backlash of strangers that don't know anything about my life or don't know anything about how I live or don't know anything about what happens inside my house once I close the door, but they see me for like 5 minutes at a park in the street and they judge my whole life based on the behavior of my kid in 5 minutes when they don't know anything else about me.
Well, remember how I mentioned to you that at my baby's daycare, Erica, the owner of the daycare, her son climbs trees.
Yeah.
She said that child services came to her because her neighbor called child services saying that she was letting her kid like climb
a tree.
And then she came in and she was like, well, yes, like I let my son climb a tree. Like, is that
is absolutely ridiculous.
She told me that and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, they came to my house because my child was climbing a tree. Like,
this is so stupid. I'm sorry, but being in that situation myself before, I can see how ridiculous those claims are, and I'm scared of leaving my kids in the patio by themselves because I'm like, oh, I can cook at home but I don't want to because I'm like, what if somebody sees me? Or like, just her opening the front door. I'm like, don't open the front door. Don't let anybody see you. Like, these kids are growing up in this environment of insecurities.
And that's because of what's happening around, like, social media. Like, this mom being bashed the way she's being bashed. Like, I hadn't realized that, like, until you brought it to my attention. I was like, is this the same story my husband was telling me about on Saturday morning and Sunday morning?
Yep.
Like,
it was crazy. And, everybody...
There's a petition? Like, are you serious?
There's a petition.
If you're signing that petition, go get a life. Like...
Go make a child.
Or
don't.
Don't. Just go and... I don't know. Go kiss a baby or something. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
They're obviously not going to go kiss a baby if they are. Like, what kind of human are you? Like, that you don't feel sympathetic for a 4-year-old?
Like, go get a hobby.
Right.
Go knit. How's that? Go knit. Sit down and knit. Like, make something. Like, I just don't know what to say. Like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like we just had to get on the mic and just, like...
Put her 2 cents
to her mom, to the mom.
Yeah, and then people, talking about like not having a village and this apparent village that we created in our heads, and like no support and like yes support, not support. Like there's so many opinions. There's like
I just like this poor mother didn't just think. Okay, how about for a second we stop putting her on the mom box and just put her as a human box,
right? And
think of her as a human being. Does any human being deserve so much harassment? Do they? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, leave her alone. Like, she's not trying to put this like on herself. She didn't put it on herself. She didn't like purposely go out there and throw her kid in there on purpose. It's just a mom with a baby and a toddler trying to go out and having a day in the zoo. Whether you love the zoo or not, that's your own like opinion. Mm-hmm. Let her.
Yes.
Let her live.
It's like my dad would say, pónganse a trabajar.
For real. Now I get what he means.
Yeah, like, no tienes que hacer, ponte a trabajar.
Yeah.
I was, okay, Dad, sorry. I was like, just wasting time. Like, he would always say that. And like, seriously, these 250,000 people,
pónganse a
trabajar. For real. Like, come on.
The 250,000 who are signing the petition. That's who we are referring to, if you didn't know.
Yes, the 250,000 people that have signed that petition. Like, I cannot believe it. Like, who are these people?
People who don't work.
People who don't work, obviously. Or like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Because, we're speaking from a mom's perspective. And I would, like I said.
Oh, yeah. And P.S. don't send me hate email.
We're just defending our child. Yeah. I would, and they would too. I'm pretty sure every parent would do anything to defend their child. If it was between
my child and a gorilla, I would shoot the gorilla. I'm sorry, PETA.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, environmentalists. If it was between me and an animal, I would choose my child.
Of course.
I'm sorry. And people say like, well, the gorilla, how can they defend themselves? Like, hey, listen. Think about it between you and a robber, or you and someone who's coming at your child, whether it be a human, an animal, or anything. You're gonna defend that child no matter what, no matter who's coming at it, no matter what's coming at it. You're going to defend the child.
You are, and I, of course, you're saying that the one that least was guilty was the gorilla. The gorilla was just chilling, and then this child fell and it wasn't his fault. Obviously, it wasn't his fault. Obviously, it's horrible what happened. But again, it was a child's life.
And what about, yes. But what about the harassment afterwards? That's like crazy to me.
That's so crazy. Crazy. Like, I felt bad. Like, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, what happened? The child, And, the gorilla was killed trying to save the kid. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
Like, damn,
that sucks. But then, like, Monday morning, and I'm, like, reading all these articles, and I'm like, oh, my God, for real. Tuesday, more articles. Today, more articles on the gorilla. And I'm like, really? Come on. Like, poor lady. I think she's going to move. Or she's going to move to Mexico or something.
I'm just saying poorly. Like, I just can't imagine what she's going through right now. Her kids aren't sleeping. She's being harassed. Like, she's trying to take care of 2 kids. Her, her life's upside down. There's all these probably reporters calling her. Like,
imagine.
I can't even imagine her life right now. And all power to you, girl. If you're out there, we're going to be praying for you, for you to get strength, for you to be able to just have wisdom, to be able to kind of navigate through the situation right now. But we feel you. You're probably not listening, but who cares? We're still feeling you. And we hope that,
I just don't think there was a win situation there. If the gorilla would have killed the child, it would have been like, oh my God, how can they have a gorilla that's a kill? There was no win-win situation there. They just did whatever they had to do at the moment.
Right.
I think.
But
anyway,
that's all we got for you guys today.
We did not have a call.
No, we did not have a call. I mean, we did have a call, but we're gonna wait for next week. We just. It was supposed to be 15 minutes and we're totally over it.
Oh, damn.
Don't forget to get your tickets for the Super Mamás Social. There won't be any gorillas there. We promise you guys. Or any animals. No pet farms, no nothing. There's going to be lots of water games.
Water.
And we're going to have snacks and a live panel. supermamassocial.com. Get your tickets, ladies.
Get your tickets, ladies.
Saturday, July 9th. Again, don't go to the zoo. Come to the Super Mamás Social. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
_Super Mamás.
And our Facebook page.
Super Mamás Podcast.
And
our website.
www.supermamaspodcast.com.
And the website to get the tickets, www.supermamassocial.com. Get your tickets today. Buy one for your friend. Buy one for your mom. Come see us. Come visit us. It's going to be so much fun. I am so looking forward to meeting every single one of you. And so many surprises there.
We love you, ladies. Hasta luego.
Adios.
Super Mamás.
Super Mamás.